Now let's continue with the 2013 GCE questions, and the next one is number 6. Find the acute angle between the lines 6x plus 3y plus 5 equals 0 and the line and 12x minus 4y plus 7 equals 0. Let me find the gradient of this line first of all. To find the gradient, all I need to do is to make y the subject of the subject of the formula, and that's going to be 3y equals minus 6x minus 5. Now if I divide through by 3, I'm going to get y equals minus 2x minus 5 over 3. So that simply means the gradient of the line is minus 2. That's the coefficient of x. Let me call it m1. So the second line is 12x minus, that's 12x minus 4y plus 7 equals 0. We do the same thing to get the gradient of the line. That simply means 12x plus 7 equals 4y. And if I divide through by 4, y is going to be equal to 3x plus 7 over 4. Of course, that means 4 over 4 here. This is 7 over 4, and this will be 12 over 4. So I will have y equals 3x plus 7 over 4. So that means the gradient of the second line, let me call it m2, is the coefficient of x, which is 3. Therefore, the angle between the two lines is given by theta equals tan inverse of absolute value of m1 minus m2 over 1 plus m1 m2. And that's the same as the tan inverse of m1 is minus 2 while m2 is 3 all over 1 plus minus 2 times 3. This is minus 2. And that simply means the absolute value of minus 5 over, this is minus 6. Minus 2 times 3 is minus 6. 1 plus minus 6 is the same as 1 minus 6, which is minus 5. And this simply means the tan inverse of 1, which is equal to, that therefore means theta is 45 degrees. And the correct option is C. We go straight to the next, which is number 7. What does that say? Integrate 6x raised to the power 4 with respect to x. That simply means that's it. The integral of 6x raised to the power 4 with respect to x is 6x raised to the power 5 over 5 plus c. And the correct option is A. We go straight to number 8. Functions f, g, and h are defined on the set of real numbers. Okay, the functions are already given. The question says use the information to answer questions 8 and 9. Question 8 says find the inverse of h. To find the inverse of h, let's write h of x first. H of x is 1 all over 2x minus 1, where x is not equal to 1 over 2. Otherwise, this is going to be undefined because the denominator will be 0. Now, what do? Let's make let h of x be equal to y. That means y equals 1 all over 2x minus 1. Now, I want to make x the subject of this formula. And that means y into bracket 2x minus 1 equals 1. Which means 2x minus 1 equals 1 over y, and that's the same as 2x equals 1 over y plus 1, which simply means 2x equals, if I find the LCM, the right hand side is going to be the LCM of this. I'm going to get 1 plus y over y. Now if I divide both sides by 2, then x will be equal to 1 over 2 times 1 plus y over y. Dividing this by 2 is the same as multiplying it by 1 over 2. Yeah, so that's the same as, that means x equals 1 plus y over 2y. Now, that therefore means the inverse of h is going to be equal to, just change all of the y's in the x to x's. So that simply means 1 plus x over 2x, of course, where x is not equal to 0. And that's the inverse of h. And the correct option is A, x plus 1 over 2x, where x is not equal to 0. Now we go straight to the next, which is number 9. Number 9 says find g of f of 4. First of all, let's find f of 4. what is f of x? F of x is, let's go there. F of x is 12 minus half x. 12 minus half x, and that simply means f of 4 will be equal to 12 minus 1 over 2 times 4, which simply means 12 minus 2, and that's equal to 10. So that therefore means g of f of 4 is the same as g of 10, and I know that g of x is equal to, what's g of x? G of x is equal to 5x minus 1. So that therefore means g of 10 will be equal to 5 times 10 minus 1, which is equal to 50 minus 1, and that's 49. The correct option is C. We go straight to the next, which is number 10. In how many ways can the letters of the word acceptance be arranged? Okay, the number of ways is going to be, let's count the number of letters: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is a C. So that's 10 factorial over, now the denominator will be, we count all the letters that appear more than once. Let's check that. Let me take all of this out first. Now, there are 2 A's, so the denominator will be 2 factorial times, there are also 2 E's, 1, 2, 2 factorial times 2 factorial, and there are 3 C's, 1, 2, 3. So the denominator will be 2 factorial times 2 factorial times 3 factorial. That's the number of ways the letters of the word acceptance can be arranged. And the correct option is D. We go straight to the next, which is number 11. Number 11 says evaluate the limit of x plus 6 over x as x tends to infinity. And that's what do we do here? The trick is just divide the numerator and denominator by the highest power of x. The highest power of x is x raised to the power 1. So that's the same as the limit of x over x plus 6 over x divided by x over x as x tends to infinity. And that simply means this is x. Let me write it well. And that's equal to the limit of 1 plus 6 over x. Let me write it this way. The limit of, try to erase that, the limit of 1 plus 6 over x all over 1 as x tends to infinity. And that's equal to, that simply means that's equal to 1 plus 6 over, okay, let me write this before I go to this step. That's the limit of 1 plus 6 over x. 1 plus 6 over x, 1 plus 6 over 1 is 1 plus 6 over x as x tends to infinity, which is simply equal to 1 plus 6 over infinity, and this is just going to be 0, and that's 1 plus 0, which is 1. So the correct option is B. And now we go straight to the next, which is number 12. Let's see, that's okay. The next one is number 12. What does that say? Number 12. Okay, number 12. The 6th and 8th terms of an exponential sequence GP are 1 over 64 and 1 over 256 respectively. T6 is 1 over 64. That simply means AR raised to the power 5 is equal to 1 over 64. And T8 is 1 over 256. That simply means AR raised to the power 7 is 1 all over 256. Now the question says find the sum of the first term and the positive common ratio. Let me find the common ratio first. I want to do T8 divided by T6. That means AR raised to the power 7 divided by AR raised to the power 5. That's what I'm doing to find R. AR raised to the power 7 divided by AR raised to the power 5 will be equal to T8 is 1 over 256. That's 1 over 256 divided by T6, which is 1 over 1 over 64. That's 1 over 64. So I'm dividing that by 1 over 64 divided by 1 over 64, which simply means, so now what do I have? A cancels A. R raised to the power 7 divided by R raised to the power 5 is R raised to the power 2, and that's equal to 1 over 256 times 64 over 1 and this is the same as, that means r raised to power 2 equals, of course, that means 8 here 8, 8 here 32, and 8 here 1, 8 here 4. So that simply means r squared is 1 over 4. And I need only the positive value of r. So r is the square root of 1 over 4, which is, it's actually plus or minus 1 over 2, but I need a positive. So I'm taking r equals 1 over 2. Now, how do we find the first term? AR raised to power 5 is equal to 1 over 64. So I'm putting r here. So that simply means a times 1 over 2 raised to power 5 equals 1 over 64. And that's the same as a times 1 over 32. 1 raised to power 5 is 1, 2 raised to power 5 is 32, equals 1 over 64. So that simply means a equals 32 over 64, which is equal to 1 over 2. So therefore, a plus r means 1 over 2 plus 1 over 2, which is equal to 1. And the correct option is A. We go straight to the next, which is number 13. What does that say? A force of 10I plus 4J newtons, F is 10I plus 4J newtons, act on a mass, the mass is 2 kilograms, of 2 kilograms, which is at rest. And if the body is at rest, that means U equals 0 meter per second. What is the velocity in meters per second after 3 seconds? First of all, let me find the acceleration. F is ma. That simply means a equals f over m. I hope that's correct. And that simply means 10I plus 4j over m, which is 2. And that's the same as 5I plus 2j meters per second squared. I want to write that well. That means A equals 5I plus 2j meters per second squared. Now that I know A, I can find the velocity after 3 seconds. I know that time is 3 seconds. That simply means V, which is equal to U plus AT, will be 0 plus A is 5I, this is it, 5I plus 2j times T, which is 3. And that simply means velocity V is equal to 15I plus 6j meters per second. 15I plus 6j meters per second. I have to make sure that's clear. And the correct option is D. We go straight to the next, which is number 14. What does that say? If x equals 1 over 3 and y equals 2 over 3, find the value of the term in x cubed y cubed in the binomial expansion of x plus y raised to power 6. Okay, what does that mean? Let's expand x plus y raised to power 6. That's going to be equal to 6c0 x raised to power 6 y raised to power 0. That's the first term, plus the second term is 6c1 x raised to power 5 y raised to power 1. We'll see that the power of x will keep decreasing across the expansion, while that of y will be increasing across the expansion. Now the third term will be 6c2 x raised to power 4 y raised to power 2. And the fourth term, we already have 1, 2, 3. The fourth term is 6c3 x raised to power 3 y raised to power 3. So there will be a few more terms, but I don't need them. This is the one I need. So the term in x cubed y cubed is, that simply means 6c3 x raised to power 3 y raised to power 3 is equal to, what is 6c3? 6c3, let me check that. 6c3 is 20. That's 20 times x is, what's x? X is 1 over 3 and y is 2 over 3. So that means 20 times 1 over 3 raised to power 3 times y, which is 2 over 3, the cube of 2 over 3. And that simply means 20 times 1 over 27, not 8, times 8 over 27. And the correct and that's the same as 160 over 729. And the correct option is B. Now to the next, which is number 15. A student kicks a football of mass 3 kilograms initially at rest with a force of 12 newtons. Okay, force is 12 newtons. Mass of the football is 3 kilograms. Want to write that well. And okay, the football was initially at rest. That means U is 0 meter per second. Now, if the ball moves in a straight line for 2 seconds, T is 2 seconds. What's the question? Calculate the distance covered. Okay, first of all, we need to find acceleration. Acceleration is F over M, which is the same as 12 over 3. And that means acceleration is 4 meters per second squared. Now, we have the acceleration. How do we find the distance covered? We already have U, A, and T. So this formula is very appropriate. S equals UT plus half AT squared. And that simply means 0 times T is 2 seconds plus 1 over 2 times A, which is 4, times T squared, which is 2 squared. And that simply, of course, this is 0. 2 squared is 4 times 4, 16 divided by 2, 8 meters. So that means the distance covered is 8 meters. And the correct option is D. I go straight to the next, which is number 16. How do we do that? Given that M is a matrix with elements 3 minus 1 and minus 5, 2. Find the point whose image under M is minus 2, 1. Okay, what does that mean? We just multiply this matrix 3 minus 1 minus 5, 2 by this matrix, and that will be equal to minus 2, 1. So this is simply the same as 3x minus y, not plus y. 3x minus y, and this will be minus 5x plus 2y. If you multiply these two matrices, that's what you're going to get. And that's equal to minus 2, 1. Let me check again. That's correct. Minus 5x plus 2y. Now, this simply means 3x minus y equals minus 2. That's the first equation. And the second equation is minus 5x plus 2y equals 1. Now, what do we do? Let me eliminate y by multiplying the first equation by 2 and the second by 1. So when I do that, I'm going to have 6x minus 2y equals minus 4. And the second equation remains what it is, minus 5y plus 2y equals 1. And that simply means, what's that? Let me have a straight line. So let's add to eliminate y. 6x plus minus 5x is x, and minus 2y plus 2y is 0. That's equal to minus 4 plus 1 is minus 3. And that means x equals minus 3. So we can put that in this equation, in equation 1, to get y. Equation 1 is 3x minus y equals minus 2. Equation 1 is 3x minus y equals minus 2. And I already know that x is minus 3, so I can write minus 3 here. 3 times minus 3 minus y equals minus 2. And that simply means minus 9 minus y equals minus 2, which means minus y equals minus 2 plus 9. And that means minus y equals 7, which means y equals minus 7. Therefore, the point whose image under M is minus 2, 1 is minus 3 minus 7. And the correct option is C. All right, let me take a breather and then come back in a few for the rest. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you in a bit. Bye-bye.